Hello, my name is Lynn and welcome back to the Inky Willow. So today I want to show you my bullet journal, and this is not a flip through, this is just how I use my bullet journal as for now, because how I use my bullet journal keeps evolving as I go through the stages of my life. So how I use my bullet journal then is different from how I use my bullet journal now, and it might be different how I use my bullet journal in the future. So as for now, this is how I use my bullet journal. But first thing first, I want to share with you my history with bullet journal. I started bullet journaling in 2017, and I think like most of bullet journalers, I stumbled upon Amanda Rajli bullet journal video. I think she also started in 2017. So I watched her video and I thought I want to do it, so I did it. And it was very different at first. If you watch Amanda Rajli videos, you might know how she uses her bullet journal, how she decorates all of her spreads. That's how I use my bullet journal then. Unfortunately, I don't have my old bullet journals because that's the downside of bullet journal. Like the physical bullet journals, you'll have a lot of notebooks and you might not bring it with you everywhere. As you know, maybe you might not know, but I moved a lot of times, so I left most of my notebooks at my parents' home, so I didn't bring it with me now. And we live in different countries, so that's impossible for me to bring it now. But yeah, so the notebook I use this year is Scribbles That Matters. I don't know which one is it because they have a lot of different versions. And I bought this in like maybe 2018, 19, or yeah, I remember it was like a transition from the 100 GSM to now 120 and 160. I think this is the transition. It's like a weird 110 or 111 something GSM. It doesn't show in the sleeve. I already lost the sleeve. It's really old, but I only use it this year, 2025. So it has 200 and it's exactly 200 pages, but the back side is just the mindfulness, like a reflection. So actually it's just 199. So it has a back pocket. It has two bookmark ribbons, and it's a vegan leather that I really don't like it. If you can see, it started to fall apart, the leather. It started to fall apart here, so I have to tape it with this black tape so it doesn't fall apart anymore. But yeah, it's really start to fall apart even when I first start using it. Like the first few days it started to peel off and it's become like this. But yeah, this is my notebook for 2025 and I already finished it. I actually took a break from bullet journal like between 2022 to 2025 because it's like a transition from uni to my work life, and I haven't found how to use the bullet journal to feed my needs, so I took a break from it. And this year I decided to jump back right into it. So this is it. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. So this is like the cover page. It's also have like a name page behind this, but I'm not gonna show you that. So this is my key. As you can see, I already changing my key. You can see the white out. I already changed it a few times. At first, I'm using square for the open task, and then when the task is complete, I just fill out the square. But I realized that square is just not efficient shape that you have to like square, but in circle you can just circle it. It's much faster, so I decided to do circle for open task, and then when it's complete I fill it in. I know in rather Carol original method you use like a dot for open task, and when you complete it you write out X, but it's just I just don't like it, so I use my own key. And then for the task migrate and rescheduled, it's the same. The arrow, the right side arrow means it's migrated to the next day, and if it's left side, it's migrated to the monthly or even the future log. And then for event, I used triangle. I was using like if the event is done, I filled in the triangle, but it's just doesn't make sense to me, so I decided not to use the event done, so just event. And then for note I use dash. It's the same one with the Carol method. And then for mood I used the equal sign to dash. And then this one I just experimenting, but I don't really use it anymore, the lunch, dinner and snack. And then for the like little timer is for a time event, time related event that I'm still experimenting on. And then color code, this is I'm not using the personal one anymore. I only use the work one just to color code the monthly where I work, because it's easier to see the color. And then this is the index, the boring index. I filled it out. And then this is the grid spacing that I have done, because I realized that this notebook has like a smart grid. If you have bullet journal notebook, the Lundstrom 2nd edition one, you know that there's a smart bullet that's divided the page. You can see this is a dash for half, and then there's like a plus sign for the middle, like right in the middle of the page. So it's really easy for me to divide the page. So I don't really need this. In the bullet journal 2nd edition notebook, you have like the third divider, but here you only have halves. This is my cover page for 2025. I must remind you that the first few pages is the only pages with decoration, if you can say that. So this is my year at a glance. I don't really use this page much, but I like making it because it's kind of relaxing. I know many people said it's really tedious to make, it's really like cramping their hand, but I liked making it. It's just relaxing. So I made it. And then this is my 2025 in a nutshell. I just draw out the square and just write a few things that are just the highlights of the month. And then the next page is my period tracker. I just use a simple indicator with circle just to indicate how heavy my period is. And then this is my 2025 goals that I cannot show you. So this is where I write my goals or intention as the original method say. And then next is my future log. Alright, this is my future log. well, it's not really personal, but it's just I write birthday, and you can see I divided it. So up here I use like the birthday and stuff, the event, and then down here I write down my task for the month, and then down here I have like the my payday off tracker, if you can say that. So I track my payday off, how many I have left, how many I used that month, and yeah. So this is my future log. I have 2 pages of this that I don't use because this notebook only lasts me 5 months. So I don't really need the 12 months. Maybe just like 6-7 months is enough for me. So in my new notebook I only have 6 months. After that, this is my someday list. This is where I like list out what I want to do, like for example trip to Osaka, and yeah, something like that. And then next is my January cover page, and after that it's my monthly. So January is like the beginning of my bullet journal journey again. So I'm really experimenting much in this month. So I write down my event and my task kinda in this page, and I also use this for my tracker. If as you can see here, I track my Korean study and my stretch. So and then the G is for gym. You can see this is the Korean and gym and stretch. I track those 3 things because in the bullet journal method, the original method, the maximum amount of habit you can track is like 3. So if you like complete it like all of it in 1 month, like I want to stretch every day, for example, and then if I completed all the stretch all day, every month, then I can like move on to another habit. So I don't have to track my stretch anymore, something like that. And then here is my to-do for the month that is not day specific. Alright, this is my daily page. So I write down my task. This is back when I still use Square for my task, and then when I completed, I filled it in. And then back then I used to do like the timestamp, but now I didn't use it anymore. As I will show you later how I use it now. And then this is for the notes. Like I think I'm more likely to complete task when I write it with intention. I know like in the original method you're supposed to like write a few, like write as simple as possible, not like the full sentence, but my brain just doesn't work like that. I like to see my notebook filled out, so I write a full sentence. I know that you can shorten it, like more likely to complete task if write down with intention, something like that, so it's shorter, but I like to write full sentences. Then Obsidian might be good for storing notes more than Notion. That's my notes. And then this is the event. The event is tried Obsidian a bit. It looks simple, and then maybe you could use it for addresses or maybe recipes. And then syncing it with Google Drive is a bit finicky, but I think I got it, something like that. And then this is my mood, hopeful and motivated. Hopeful that I can use it, and motivated to use Obsidian. That's basically just how I used my daily pages back then when I first jumped back into bullet journaling. So this is it's just really simple, like monthly, and then to do at the sides, and then the daily. And then let's move on to a newer spread. Alright, this is April. So last month page, so it's newer. I realized that I want to use my monthly page as my weekly page. So I write down my events for the day and then my task. So as you know, in bullet journal you write the daily as you go, so you don't like plan out like you day 1 and then day 2 and then next page is day 3. You don't plan it out like that. At least for me, I didn't plan it like that. I plan like day 1 I write it, and then at the end I write day 2, and then I write day 2 and then day 3. So I don't plan out my day, my template. Yeah, so this is for like the task that I know I want to complete on that day. So for example, I want to like wash sheets on this day, but yeah, as you can see, I migrated it to Sunday. At Sunday I wash my sheets and then do weekly review and then do Notion finance update, something like that. And then at the bottom I use like the heart for gratitude log. It can be anything, but most of it actually food because I eat a lot. I like eating. So yeah, it's mostly food, but sometimes it can be like lazy day, and then like flying dinosaur. It's the attraction, the ride at Universal Studio Japan. So yeah, that's the ride that's most exciting that day. And yeah, for the next page I do my highlights and my to-do list. I divided my to-do list to 3 division. It's personal, chores, and then YouTube. So personal is just a personal stuff, and then chores is something to do with house, like cleaning stuff, do the dishes or do laundry. And then for highlights, it's actually the highlight of the day for like a memory keeping. So this is kind of like the Ryder Carroll original method. For the original bullet journal method, you write down for the monthly, you write down the day, the date, and then the day, and then you write down the events when it's already happened. So you don't plan the events, but you write down the events when it's already done. So it's like an what he said, like an bird eye view of things that happened that month, so you can like see at a glance what happened. So that's what I did here. For example, at the 30th I finished watching Kim's Convenience, kind of feel emotional about it, something like that. And I also use this for my habit tracker. As you can see, this is the Korean, and then the gym, and then R is for reading, gym and then read. And yeah, that's what's new here. It wasn't on the January spread because I started using it in like February or March. And then for the daily page, I also did some change. So this is my daily page. I changed it a bit. As you can see, I add dashboard to my daily page. Dashboard is something that you write every day. It could be anything. It could be for example, for me, it's one thing I'm excited about, something that excites me, and then my mood, and then something that I should do more to be better tomorrow. Something like that. So for the Saturday 12th, something that excites me is notebook organization, and then Bujo video planning for this video. And then my mood that day is good. And then one thing I learned today, that to be better tomorrow is Duolingo consistently. And yeah, other than that, it's mostly not changing, except that I don't use the timestamp anymore. And my key is different for a task. It's now circle instead of square. So I write down my task first, and then the event. So the event for that day is I played Zelda after such a long time, and then I write down the notes, And yeah, that's basically it. As you can see, I don't do decoration at all except for the first few pages, if you can call that decoration, like this fancy glitter, if you can call that decoration though. Other than that, I don't really use stickers, I don't use anything. I use this tabs just because I don't have to bookmark. I need to use this to flip it to my most used pages. So yeah, other than that, no decoration at all, because for me, putting down stickers is just an extra task for me, like an extra chores. So when I want to journal, I don't need to grab my sticker pack. I don't need to choose what sticker I have to use for the day. I don't need to like prepare with washi tapes, tapes it and then decorate it. It's just extra task. I know some people find it relaxing, like how I find making this relaxing, but it's just not for me. It might be for you, but it's not for me. So stickers, no washi tapes, no nothing. It's just like a simple pen and paper. And as you can realize, I don't do the weekly pages like Amanda Rajli. I used to do exactly like Amanda Rajli. I did the cover page, I did the mood tracker, I made weekly pages with the decoration each week. But now I don't do that anymore because my needs changes. That's why I took a break from bullet journal, because it was too much for me, the decoration and stuff. I used to have time in uni. 2017 was my second year of uni, and I still have like much time back then. I can decorate as much as I want and I still have time to do it. But now my needs changes, so I don't do it anymore. I just do the simple thing as long as it works for me. And also the way I use my bullet journal back then is very different. Back then I used my bullet journal for tracking my deadlines, tracking my projects, my finals, my presentation and stuff. But now I just track like everyday thing, like bring home pen, take clothes inside before raining, and I just jot down like a very simple thing like played Zelda for such a long time. For many people it's just like a mundane thing, but I chose to write it because it means something for me. Back then when I used my bullet journal with the fancy decoration, I didn't do this. I only write down tasks, so it's basically just a glorified to-do list. But now it's more like my life notebook, as writer Carol said. So when I flip it through, I know what I did for the day, I know what I feel on that day, I know what events, like what I do and what I feel about it, something like that. So yeah, for now, that's how I use my bullet journal. Maybe it's gonna evolve, maybe it's gonna change, who knows. But yeah, that's how I use my bullet journal now. So what do you think of my bullet journal? And tell me how you bullet journal as well. Do you do decorations? Do you just do simple thing? And do you keep your notebook after you finished it? Because I do keep all my bullet journal notebook, but I just don't bring it anywhere with me. I just left it in my parents' home. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe, and do leave a comment about your bullet journal as well. And I hope I'll see you again in the next one. Bye bye.